In this video, we'll be addressing how to build resilience. It's a book review of a brilliant book that I read recently called The Resilience Project. Cue the book here. Welcome back to my channel. Here we explore different ways to up-level our energy so that way we can feel more vibrant, be more productive, and courageous. My great friend recommended it to me and it really did shift my perspective on things. I was feeling a little bit in the slumps. I just had my new baby, which was brilliant, and then when my partner went back to work and that little baby bubble kind of dissipated, things got a little bit harder. I felt a little bit more isolated, and this really helped me uplift my spirits again because it drives home how to tailor your brain and how to train your brain to see the positives, and addresses the emotional side as well with empathy, but also makes you realize what's important to you. There's 3 cues of journaling prompts I'll be going through that he recommends in this book, and I find them brilliant and I do them every night now, and I hope you get something out of it too. So this man, Hugh, has a brilliant story about his sister. She went through a bit of a traumatic time with an eating disorder, and he's helped loads of athletes and loads of people in the corporate world as well to feel better and more fulfilled as they're going on in their journey. Mental health is such a biggie, and I'm really glad that everyone's talking about it more, because that does, I find, help others to open up about it when they're struggling in that area. I lost a good family friend in 2015, and still tugs at my heart, of course, and I think it's so important for us to talk about it and to be able to express our feelings and to be able to find ways to give us that resilience, because life, as much as we'd like to manifest all the positive things into our life, things are going to happen that are shit. Things are going to happen that bring us down. Things are going to happen that make us feel heavy and that lie on our shoulders for a long time and that we need to move past. And resilience is definitely one of the key aspects that makes you able to keep being courageous, makes you able to even speak up about your emotions, is resilience. Because I just want to sidestep here. When I first sort of heard the word resilience, in my head it was very hard, go, 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 keep going mentality. And in this book, which is beautiful, he actually puts another spin on it, because it is about the fulfillment inside. And we do need to look after ourselves and our emotional beings, because that can make us keep going. If we don't do that, if we shut that out, we get numb to it and we try to fill that void with outside sources all the time, it's not going to work. There will be a point where we come to a halt. There will be a point where we are stuck, and there will be a point where it needs to crack open and we need to get it out and we need to talk about it. Otherwise we can't go on, or we can't feel good. The thing about emotion, it's an energy, right? And you need to feel the whole spectrum. To feel really happy and really blissful, we also need to be able to be comfortable with experiencing the low end. Now, I just say it's a spectrum because I also don't like to think of it as bad or good emotions. Some obviously don't feel as good as others, and that's how we can describe them as bad or good. But I think they're all important. If you're down and then you're feeling angry, that's actually really brilliant, because then you're moving through that sadness and you're getting a bit more energy and fire in your belly to be able to do something about it. To be able to either, I'm getting goosebumps, to be able to move into something new for yourself, or to be able to take a stance, make a boundary for yourself, or to be able to say no to things that are just not for you anymore. and letting go of stuff that you need to let go of. It's really important. And I think, yeah, the only time I actually heard a yoga teacher speak about this in a class once, the only emotions that are an issue are the ones we don't process. So that's where we feel stuck. That's where we feel like we have it all in our heads. We're not in our body because we feel the emotions in our body. So if we're on our head all the time, we're spinning the loop, we're going round and round that roller coaster of what if, or just playing out a scene and over again until we snap out and we actually do something. You might have experienced this yourself. You take an action and then you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad all along. Oh my God. Happens to me all the time. So number 1 is to write down what has worked well for you today. And I ask my partner this question before we go to bed sometimes if I don't feel like writing it, I still think it. So what is it that you think worked well for you today? Write 3 things down. What worked well for you? This is important. This primes our brain to now, as we do this every night, to look for the good. So then as things are happening throughout the day, you're like, oh, that worked out for me. That's brilliant. Or at the end of the day, if you feel like it's been a bit of a, like not that great, it was exhausting, stuff was kind of going left, right, and center, you reflect back and you think, actually, that moment where I had my coffee, or that moment that my baby smiled at me, or that moment that the lights were turning green, or I got a car park, like simple things even, you can be like, sweet, that worked out for me, that was good. Or I actually made it to the gym today. Brilliant. Things like that. Little things or big things, doesn't matter. Number 2 is empathy. Now the reason empathy is so important is because they figured this out through affirmations. When you're affirming to yourself the negative, the brain can't do negative, because if the biggest example for this is, don't imagine an elephant. What just happened? You pictured an elephant, right? Like, don't picture an apple for me. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work. And I see yoga teachers do this all the time. It actually frustrates me. At the end of a class, you've done this beautiful flow. You feel incredible. You feel relaxed. You lie down for the meditation and they start talking about all the stresses. Like, they'll be like, just let all the stress float away. Don't worry about all the things that you have to do. Yeah, and I feel like they point out the things that you don't actually want to draw your attention onto. And I'm like, just stick to being like, you're so relaxed. Breathe, focus on the breath, focus on the softness in your body. Like, switch it. Just focus on what you actually want them to focus on and say those things. My point is here that the affirmations that you say, even to someone else, your body doesn't know the difference. So if you're constantly thinking negative thoughts about somebody else being, for example, oh, such an idiot, or oh, why are they so frustrating? Why don't they just get it? Why don't they get it? Why don't they get me? Your body doesn't know that you're actually directing that to someone else. So what they're thinking is, don't get it. So frustrating. Stupid, right? And it's just, that's what's creating and being ingrained in your brain. It's like an affirmation to yourself then. So this is why the empathy part is so important. I know that was a big loop, but you showing love and pouring love into someone else and feeling their feelings can make you so much more happy. Because when we are helpless, being helpful is one of the most powerful things to pull us out of that. So if you do ever feel helpless, is there someone else that you can help? When I feel down, I love to call a friend and just be like, hey, how are you going? How can I support you? Obviously, it's a balance of like, take time for you, relax. But if you're feeling a bit like you need to get out and do something, you need to be helpful, that is what's probably happening. The third one, the third journal prompt, is to write down, what am I most excited for tomorrow? What am I most excited for tomorrow? Our nervous system doesn't actually know the difference between imaginary or real. So if you're constantly playing these scenarios in your head about things that are happening, your body is feeling like it's actually happening. That's why also when we anticipate something good happening, you're actually getting probably more dopamine rushing through your system than when it actually comes to the event where it happens. So looking forward to something and getting excited and anticipating an event, or maybe even a piece of chocolate, that excitement and anticipation gives you more bliss than the actual event of it happening. Brilliant. Just get more excited about things happening. And imagine things happening your way too. This is important because your nervous system doesn't know the difference. Like whatever you imagine, it thinks it's real. So point it in a good direction. So this one really made me realize how much I actually wanted to do these things. And then they would get put down as my 3 top things to do that day. And I would actually get them done because I was super excited about it. But the other thing was also because I'm raising my little boy and he's only 7 months old right now, it always drew me back to that too. So there was this like division sometimes, but obviously that would be the most thing that would light me up inside, like being able to hug him again in the morning, even though I just put him down and I was like grateful that he's sleeping and that I had some time to myself. I would be like, oh, I'm actually so excited to hug him in the morning, or to see his face light up when he sees me when he wakes up. Oh my golly, it's so good. You can tell by my smile. Like these 3 prompts are brilliant. Like go Hugh, you're a brilliant man. And I hope this helps you. I hope you can trial these and do these for yourself so you can lift your energy and lift your spirits. Till next time. Give this video a thumbs up if you really liked it, so then other people can find it if they're looking for stuff like this. And hit subscribe if you like my style, and see you in the next one. Bye.